on what kind of change you'd like to see now, though, guys, because that's what a lot of the messages coming in, a lot of tweets coming in. What changes happen now?
I think ultimately, when you look at it, there's got to be a decision made. Saracens actually haven't appealed yet, but they say and they will. So then, how long does that drag on for? How long does the decision make of is the fine and the points deduction the right thing to do? And then all the 11 other Premiership clubs at the minute are going to sit there and go, well, actually, if nothing happens, what is the point of the salary cap? If there's all this conjecture around whether they broke it or whether they didn't break it, Saracens then appeal, and that could get dragged on for a couple of years through legal battles as well. Then where do we go? And that's the big issue of finding out an end point, and then what happens going forward.
I think the main thing going forward is Premiership Rugby need to be stronger or not exist. So they either have to have complete power to make decisions based on the agreements that all the clubs have signed up to, or they have no power at all. And I think that's really important, along with the transparency that is required by all the clubs. And if that means publishing players' wages within Premiership Rugby, I think it will have twofold effect. I think it will be good, it will stop other clubs and indeed agents predicting a secondary account or a secondary market where they drive up the wages through the secondary market, saying that player A is going to move to team B, when actually he's not, they're just pumping the market. So I think that from that side it will help level out the wages and also the amount spent across the league. And we just need to be honest with each other. If they've done it, yeah, we've done it. If they've made a mistake, say, which I think might be the outcome, we've made a mistake in the accounting procedure. We thought there was precedent before to do these co-investments. We're now finding out they're not actually legitimate in terms of the salary cap. We've been giving clearance on them before, fine. But if they're not, put your hand up, say, we did it, we're wrong. Because the major problem for me with this, with Saracens, and we've all watched them and I actually admired them hugely. Now, does that change just because we think that they've breached the salary cap? Do we now think, no, Saracens haven't got a great academy, they haven't got a brilliant coaching structure, they haven't done loads of stuff in the community? I don't think we all change that opinion, do we?
But no, but that's the sad part of it.
It's tainted, so, and that is sad.
But also, games of rugby should be decided by what happens on the field. They should not be decided by clever accountancy or business structures or things like that. And that's why the integrity of the sport is at a crossroads with this particular decision.
Or you shouldn't start your season, perhaps, which is a lot of people's argument, with the intent to find a loophole. And this comes in from Pierre Stringer. If that's Peter Stringer's kind of false name, it's a bit you're not getting away with it, son. But what he says is, surely if Sarri's discovered a loophole, then this is legal, albeit not in the spirit of the game, and can only be punished once the loophole is closed.
Well, let's just be very clear that they had to declare each individual player's arrangements on an individual basis, and they did it once and they thought that set a precedent. After that, they didn't declare any of those. So you can only imagine, and it's conjecture and speculation, but why would the panel have issued a 35-point, which is the maximum penalty deduction? Because it wasn't just they didn't declare one, they didn't declare any of them.
That's a good point, that, Lol, about speculation and conjecture. The amount of information that's been released on this is terrible. I think, tell us what the breaches are, so we all know what they are. There's no speculation. Then if they want to appeal, they can go and appeal. But actually be precise in where was the mistake made, why have they been fined that amount of money, why have they been fined that amount of points. Don't just come out and say, it's £5.3 million, it's 35 points because they did something. Tell us what they've done.
Well, this brings us to Jeremy Shackleton's The Shackmeister. That's his little handle here, and I think he's along those lines, actually, Goody. If a review of the decision about Saracens takes place, expediting it quickly in the best interest of the game and the league, everyone would know where they are, regulations clarified, and can all move on, which is what we want to do. He's got a point there, and Oz has got a point there. Let's just get it done.
Yeah, but then ultimately, if you're Saracens, you're saying it's not fair and above board with the fine and the points deduction, then you're not going to want to just accept it. And they clearly, the noises they're making, they clearly don't believe they've broken the salary cap. So at some point, either the decision's got to be made, well, it's 35 points, or after review it might come down and it's 5.3 million. But we have to have an end point here for the game to move forward. Otherwise, we're just going to sit in this muddy water.
Lord Dyson, who's master of the rolls, who's the highest judge in the Court of Appeal, has decided to hand out a 35-point deduction. So if he, he's a guy that understands the law. If that's what he's decided.
Two things here, though.
I think it's going to be very, very difficult for someone to review that.
There's English law and Premiership Rugby rules and regulations. Two separate entities.